What's up, guys? Welcome to another marketing breakdown. In today's video, we're breaking down Amanda Francis's $30 million business empire that she's built and exactly all the marketing systems and funnels that she has in place in order to nurture leads, attract them, and also convert them. That way, you can steal exactly what she's doing and install it into your own business. So, the first thing we're going to do is look at her Instagram. We're going to see exactly what kind of posts she's using, the techniques behind all her posts, and this is basically how she's going to be attracting leads and bringing people into her ecosystem. That way she can nurture them and they can become buyers. So the first post that you'll see is authority posts, and these, for example, she has a ton of Forbes collaborations that she does, and this is great because it shows her authority and shows that she's someone that can be trusted in the field. So the next post you'll see is survey posts, and these are a great way for you to get intel on what your audience thinks, how they feel, what their pains are, what their dream outcomes are. That way, you're able to create content that's directly tailored to exactly where they are in life and where they want to be. In the next teaching post, you can never go wrong with teaching posts because these position you as the leader in your field. It's position you as the authority and show that you know what you're speaking about. That way people can trust you more and will start to listen to what you're saying. The next is behind the scene posts. These are a very effective way to show the behind the scenes of your life and show that you're a real human being. You're not just a marketer or guru or industry leader that's trying to get money out of your audience. Then the next you'll see is affirmation posts. These work well in the manifestation space. These are shareable content as well. People have a higher likelihood of sharing these on stories because they believe in what's being said. So, for instance, this one says, I'm worthy of the money I desire. There's a higher likelihood of people sharing it. Shareable content is a great way for you to reach new audiences and also audiences that are more likely to buy into whatever you're preaching to. The last and final post obviously would be promotion posts, and she does something that's very unique. Most of them aren't just reels or direct posts. It can be a carousel that has a story behind it that leads to people buying whatever offer she has. So for instance, here the money mentality makeover, she did something that's very nice here. She played into Go, knowing that she understands her audience is mainly made up of females. What she really does in her copy, as we'll see later on, is feed into speaking to their emotions, knowing that women are more likely to use emotion as the reason why they buy something instead of even analyzing like a male audience would. So for Instagram, she has close to 600,000 followers, and this is a good engine for her to create leads, generate leads, and also nurture her audience when she is posting these kind of posts. And we'll see that her content strategy is pretty simple. She obviously uses the content team to keep up with the consistency and also to create strategic execution. She positions herself as a luxury, magnetic, and curated thought leader in her field. She also blends authority, lifestyle, education, and promotion seamlessly, which is something that's very different to most other manifestation coaches who are very direct to the point with whenever they're selling, although they do use a lot more lingo and manifestation terms in order to mask the fact that they're going to be making pitch at the end of their offer. Then the next is she creates content that's designed to trigger the audience to active for activation points. So what she does very differently, you'll see when you analyze her content and her branding compared to like your Melanie Anleya and Catherine Cameron, is she's helping people to become what they already thought they were meant to be instead of helping people to make the identity shift. She's calling people that already want to make the identity shift, that are already in the process of, and now she's just giving them permission. This makes her job much, much easier because she's calling in people that already have been sold to the idea of leveling up instead of trying to sell them from the beginning. Then the next thing is she empowers her followers, like we said, by framing wealth as inevitable. She shares personal stories only to reinforce belief shifts. She encourages resharing to create movement-like presence. And you'll see when you're trying to create a movement, the best is to create a community and an audience that's willing to reshare your content, that's willing to speak up for you in public spaces, and also reshare your content. So when people are resharing your content, it makes people, it creates movement, it creates momentum. That way, people are more likely to join in and feel left out whenever they're not, let's say, for instance, in a masterclass or they're not in an offer that you're coming up with or some sort of live that's going on. When people are sharing, they're doing the job for you, they're doing the advertising for you, and it makes your life easier as content creator, a coach, or business owner. Then the next is she rewards engaged community numbers with bonuses and access. She funnels all her momentum into her lives, her offers, and her masterclasses that she runs. Then the next and final piece that's going to be a game changer when we're doing this is we're going to see that she does not have a movement or leadership positioning like the other two big creators in this space and coaches in this space, being Catherine Cameron and Melanie Ann Leah. And we'll see that she has permission and identity positioning instead of movement leader positioning. She doesn't position herself as the leader amongst her audience, as the person that's going to lead them to the promised land, basically. What she's doing is she's helping people take the actions that they always knew they were supposed to take. The first thing we'll see when we're breaking down her exact positioning with her brand is she's using self-authority transfer, which is the power is returned to the audience, which is something that's different. The other two don't really give the power to the audience. They always hold the power and they're just leading you on and on. In that case, it works for the people that they're attracting. But there's certain audiences that want to take authority, want to take ownership of their own life, and she's calling in those people. In that case, the decisions will come from a place of self-trust and not from a place of, I need a mentor to take me to the next step. She was constantly telling them, you already know what's true for you. And now it's your chance to now step into that. And that's her just giving them permission to do that. Then identity acting, she speaks to who they are and not what they do. Most of her, even her testimonials, people speak about they love that they're becoming the person who they're meant to be. And it's now about identity, not just about action and outcomes and goals. And the next is neutral confidence. She has a calm, unbothered tone. She doesn't do any convincing, chasing, or over explaining in her content. Her authority comes through steadiness and not intensity. She uses non-directive language, so no rigid steps or prescription. This is something that's different. Instead of telling people that they need to go from X to Y to Z, she just literally just speaks to them and invites them instead of giving them instruction. She uses phrases like you may notice, you get to decide. This is all just empowering her audience when they decide to take steps forward. The next thing is emotional permission. She allows conflicting emotions to coexist. She acknowledges the fact that people will want more and at the same time will feel fear against making that change, and she normalizes this and removes the pressure to be healed first in order to take action. Then the next is she embodies the proof of this transformation of changing identity, of stepping into a new person. But she shows this by sharing lifestyle content and showing exactly how she's made those shifts through storytelling in her brand and content. Then the next is the sovereign activations that she does, and this helps to make her audience feel empowered and feel inner certainty, that feeling like they have nothing else to fix and the only thing they have to do is to claim whatever goal or achievement they want in their life. Then desire validation, she normalizes the taboo. So when most people in society speak against money and ease and luxury and rest, she removes the guilt behind that and the shame and the justification. So she tells the audience, for instance, you're not wrong for wanting this. And what she's doing here is very powerful because instead of trying to always be the hero for your audience, she's now letting the audience become the hero in their own life. And psychologically, that's very empowering. And once a person is able to make that kind of shift, they'll always look up to you and always see you as the person that helped them to make that shift in their own life. Whereas if there's a hero always between them and their goal, there's a chance that they'll feel resentment to that hero. But now when she's empowering them, they know that they are the ones that take ownership for where they are in life and whatever level they want to go to. So what she does for her Facebook is she reshares content from her Instagram. This is basically creating a content flywheel. It makes your life easier. Instead of you constantly having to come up with new ideas for the different platforms, it's always wise for you to create content that can be shared across different platforms. So even if you have a TikTok, share the same Instagram reels or the same content, and it'll make your brand feel coherent and also make your life easier as a content creator or a coach. Then the next we'll look at is her YouTube. And YouTube is a great way for you to nurture your leads, to create more trust with your audience because you're able to create longer form videos. So whether, for instance, in her case, if it's a meditation or if it's just a quick guide, a 10-minute guide, it still has its purpose and its impact because people are able to trust you more. They're able to see that you know what you're speaking about. And also, it just adds a 7-11-4 formula where people are now watching longer pieces of content from you, and that just increases the trust and the likelihood of them buying from you because they can see you as the expert in the field. So long form authority content builds trust and depth and leadership positioning. Titles activate readiness. They activate identity shifts and decision money mindsets. The videos focus on belief rewiring, not just tactical step-by-step teaching, as we saw with the Instagram content as well. The repetition of core money principles across different emotional. Her YouTube funnels viewers into deeper offers, programs, and activations. Then the next thing we're going to do is look at her offers, and we're just going to look at 3 different funnels that she has that are running at this moment in time. So one is a membership funnel, the other is a lead magnet, the other is a challenge funnel. They all have their place, and as we'll go later in the video, I'll explain exactly how that flywheel will work, how you'll send people through those offers going into your higher ticket offers where you'll be able to charge them $50,000, $10,000, or even $100,000, depending on what offer you have, what service you're offering people. So the first one we'll look at is a membership funnel. And this will basically be for a community, and we'll see all the psychology that she has and she's using behind this offer and the sales page. So the first thing, obviously, is she knows that she's speaking to a female audience. So all of her branding, her content, her design will be tailored to that. What she's doing here, first of all, is making sure that they feel something before they understand anything. And that's coming from her hero image to the copy that she's writing. She's also showing them that she's already living in the transformation, and that's something that she's non-verbally communicating with her hero image. And then she's also going to be speaking to the identity before she speaks to the outcome. And this is something that's great for you when you're writing content, especially when it's content that's based on identity transformations. You want to speak to the person and where they are, and then help them to make that shift in their brain and in their head while they're reading through your sales page. So the first thing you'll see is a copy is written like a personal letter. There's no bullets, there's no scannability, and it's very intentional. It reads like a journal and a mentorship. It feels premium and safe, and also it's a pattern interrupt. This type of copy speaks better to an audience that's already warm. This speaks to an audience that's already warm, that already knows you as a business owner, coach, or content creator, and it filters out any cold audiences. So if people are coming from ads, the likelihood of them converting on this type of copy will be very low because they don't know you, there's no trust, and there's no relationship behind this. So this type of copy filters for introspective buyers, emotionally intelligent women, and people that are already aware that they're off, but they don't know why. So as we look in the copy, you'll see that she's doing quite a lot of things, especially from the outset in the beginning. She's speaking to people and she's using the survey or Barnum effect, which is basically whenever you hop into a survey and you feel like they're reading your mind, but they're speaking about things that are very common amongst human beings, but just when it's directed at you, it feels like it's speaking personally to you. So for instance, in the second line, you'll see that it says, you've got dreams, you've got goals, you know you're meant for more, which is something that typically most people in this whole world would say yes to. And what this does is this gives the effect where in the person's head is like, how did you read my mind? How do you know how I'm feeling? And this builds trust through vulnerability. She's also calling out a common enemy here in the middle here, where she says, in a world of naysayers, haters, and snark for sports, you know, you cannot just listen to anyone when it comes to designing your life and your business and the way you want it. This is empowering the reader and is giving them permission to go against the grain and to not just listen to what people are saying to them. And once the reader is able to agree with her in this whole passage that she does in the beginning, that they're not where they are, they're not where they want to be, and they know where they need to be, this now positions the offer as the pathway that will get them to that point in their career and their life. So then straight after that, you'll see that she has a heavy use of screenshots. And what she does here is, as you'll see later on, is she has 3 batches of testimonials. In the beginning, they're very short, they're to the point, they're belonging based, showing that the community is something that works and it's a community that's growing and has a ton of women that are engaged. She also makes sure that the testimonials here that are used are raw, they're organic, and they give emotional feedback as to what's going on in the community. The only pointer that I would give to her in this type of sales page is to add micro headlines to these testimonials. That way people don't just skim through them, they know exactly why they're reading this. It creates curiosity. So if it was, for instance, from stuck to self-led, would be a great different headlines to put at the top, or even if you broke up the different testimonials and you put them in sub headlines, that way people are more likely to read through a couple of them and increase them feeling like the offer is worth buying. Then you'll see later on, there's a section where she introduces the vibe and exactly what it is. She explains it and she frames it as a space and not just a program. Like we said in the beginning, she's not trying to sell step-by-step formulas. She's trying to sell transformation and identity shifts. So she frames it as something that's new. So she's saying here, I'm bringing you fresh perspectives. That's a great way of saying this is something new that's not anywhere else in the market space. She also differentiates again from tactical money programs. She appeals to buyers that are tired of intensity and she creates clear emotional promises towards the end. So her brand is not very manifestation dense heavy. It's still in the manifestation space. She's speaking to people about creating more money using energies and stuff like that. It's not very sophisticated where you need to know certain terms or you need to have a certain level of understanding of the field. That way it welcomes a lot of people that are new to the space and beginners in the space. Then the next batch of these are more in depth. They're not just surface proof like the first batch we saw. These are now setting the transformation and the retention. And she's made sure that she's picked out ones that speak to where the buyer is when they're reading this page. And it starts to ring things in her head like, this person sounds like me. It's speaking about people who made transformations like having their first sold out launch, people that are loving themselves more, people that have creating identity shifts that have them feeling like they love who they're being now instead of where they were before. Then the next section, she explains why this should be the program that people are jumping into. She frames money struggles as nervous system, identity, and internal state, positions the offers as the missing layer for them to be able to create those shifts with their nervous system, their identity, and their internal state. Then she validates past failures without blaming the reader of the page. She positions the creator as deeply understanding of the problem. She speaks against hustle and encourages alignment. She speaks against awareness and encourages embodiment. This all contrasts mainstream beliefs and what people will be seeing when they want to go into either making money space or manifestation space. And then also something that's nice that I saw here is she's telling them that she's reminding them of who they actually are, which is feeding into what we spoke about in the beginning about her being the person that's going to give them permission to be the person that they always knew they were supposed to be. And now she's just giving them that pathway to become that person. Then again, more testimonials. And then this section is about section. She also feeds into authority, like we were saying. She mentions publications that she's spoken on and all the other accomplishments that she's made, like writing her book and also being partnered with Forbes, Business Insider, Glamour, and Success Magazine. This also, at the same time, what she also does is she positions herself as a safe person and human instead of just sitting on a high horse and preaching from a guru point of perspective or movement leader point of perspective. She's also positioning herself as a human and making whatever compliments she's made achievable for her audience. And there's more testimonials. And in this section, she starts to speak to the logical parts of her audience instead of just speaking to emotions by showing them exactly what they get and painting a picture of what they will receive once they make the payment to this membership. So she speaks to her audience in a more logical way to decrease the amount of risk they feel against this offer and also value stacks so they feel like they're getting their money's worth when they join. However, when she writes the section, she doesn't lose a frame. She keeps to her core beliefs, which will be embodiment and energetic calibration. This makes the copy flow very smoothly and not feel like there's a sudden jump in her copy, but still speaking to that logical part and convincing the reader further as they go down. Then the next is something that's pretty unique here. What she does is a pattern break. She reduces decision fatigue. If someone's read so much copy and it's in a very weird way compared to what we're used to seeing with bullet points, headlines, bold section, it can be very tiresome for someone to go through a full sales page like that. So she just adds a break here with quick bonus that she's going to give people that join. This isn't selling people on anything, but it's just a quick breather. And then they carry on and see exactly how it works. And now she's giving them step-by-step explanation. She's answering questions like, what will happen after I pay? Do I need to show up live? Can I do this in my real life? And this also, again, just helps them to further visualize it. And then again, when they join, further speaking to logic now and also painting a picture of what they'll get, immediate outcome framing. She's giving them a bridge of where they are today and what their life will be like after they join the membership, future pacing and promising them, showing them exactly how decisions will start feeling easier. They'll have more clarity. They'll feel more confident and sure. And this just reduces uncertainty against joining the membership and investing in something like this. Then FAQs. FAQs are a great way for you to, again, deal with logic and also sell your reader on any questions that constantly come up. Instead of you waiting for them to email you, that will slow down the sales from coming in. Rather speak to them and answer all of them on your sales page towards the bottom. Then that's basically the whole sales page. And then she just has further copy just to lock everything in, just summarizing everything she's spoken about from the beginning to this point. And then she has a CTA at the bottom saying enroll here. So that's a sales page for a membership. And then we'll just look at the checkout page. And the checkout page is very simple. All you need to do is just have your checkout and just have a brief summary of exactly what is going on, just to make sure people know they're buying the same offer that they're reading about. And then it's important to always show them what they're going to get and still carry on showing them the value that they're going to receive for spending this amount of money and investing in your offer. That's something that you always need to do. And also something that she does here is to add pricing options. This increase your sales. If people aren't able to invest, let's say $500 on the spot, you can give them pricing options and break it up into 3 payments or break it up into 5 payments depending on your offer and your pricing of your offer. So then the next thing we'll look at is a lead magnet funnel. This is something that's very simple, but this is a great way for you to bring in any new people in your audience and then get them to hop onto your email list where you're able to sell them more frequently and send them more. When you have email marketing in place, it's an asset that you have for your own business. These are all your own leads. If you decide to pivot or step away from social media, you always have a way to communicate with people that want to buy from you and sell more of your offers. It's an amazing way for you to know that you're always going to be speaking to your audience. When you have social media, you're playing against the algorithm. Sometimes you can get shadow banned, but when you have an email list and it's kept clean and you're not doing any spammy activities, you're always bound to have predictable income and you have predictable opens and people seeing your offers and whatever promotions you're running from day to day and every single month. So you'll see that this one is just a quick meditation offer that she's doing as a lead magnet. She's showing in the hero image, her embodying wealth, calm, and ease. And then later on in the copy, she's just very simple, but she's further down the page, you'll see that her copy is very simple. She's speaking to identity and emotion first and not trying to sell the offer, which would be the meditations. She then lists out all the value that the reader is going to get in exchange for their email and contact details. This is just her getting them onto her email list. Email lists are a great way, like we said, to segue people into your paid offers and to send them up into paying more for whatever marketing. Then the next one we're going to look at is her challenge funnel. Challenge funnels are a great way for you to get people to invest into your business and offer to join your ecosystem. Most of them are 3-day, 5-day challenges. People will sit with you for a minimum of 3 hours to a maximum of 15 hours, and you're able to create transformations in a short window and space of time and also pitch your offers as you go along with each day. So people are typically going to invest between $11 and $97 for a 3-day to 5-day challenge. But the amount of transformations you can create in those windows are able to then funnel them into higher ticket paying offers. So for instance, here she could be funneling people into a membership, into other paid offers that she has on the back end. So we'll look at the challenge hero image. It creates urgency by using the word now without creating any scarcity tactics. Like we said from the beginning, her brand is very passive. She's not trying to push you into anything, but what she's doing is she's giving you permission into becoming the person that that you want it to be. Her image signals luxury, expansion, travel, and motherhood, which is something that her audience is looking for. She's speaking to majority female audience, and these are goals that she knows that align with them and something that they're seeking. Then from there, in her copy, she's just going to be doing a day-by-day breakdown of exactly what they're going to get. Again, speaking to ease, alignment, and inevitability over effort. All her copy speaks to emotion first instead of trying to logically explain her way as to how they're going to and why they should be investing into the offer she has. Her CTA here is something that's very genius. It's soft and assumptive. She just says, join me instead of sign up now, join here now. The next thing we'll just look at is her checkout page. She has a simple checkout, again, summarizing everything that she's spoken about in her sales page for the challenge. Something that I would add here that I don't see is a VIP upgrade. You can, instead of people just buying the offer and joining the challenge for $11, you could add an upgrade that's very VIP. Can go anywhere from $97 to $297, where you have added bonuses, VIP rooms that people can join and become a part of something that's very intimate and get more from the actual challenge. And then the last and final thing we'll look at is the Ascension model. And the business model that she's following here is getting people from a lead magnet that's free, a challenge that's for $11, and ascending them up from those low ticket offers, her book and everything else, into mid-ticket offers, flagship programs that could be from $2,000 to anywhere to $10,000, $50,000. And then she'll most likely have a VIP section, which will be for a small group of women that she's charging higher prices that can be from anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000, depending on what she's going to be offering them. And that's basically everything that she's doing from the outside looking in. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. If you're a coach, content creator, or business owner who'd like to increase your leads, triple conversions, and have an extra $50,000 to $150,000 in extra revenue in a matter of 3 months to 6 months using these types of systems, click the link below and join a free audit call where we'll basically look at your offer and show you exactly all the holes that you have and help you to increase the profits that you see in your business. Thank you for watching the video.